is coming after Whitney.
Yeah. I know.
And I can't put up Derek because he would go home against Whitney. And I know you're close with Derek, so I don't want him to go home either.
Mm-hmm.
But you would stay over Whitney.
What happens if Whitney won veto?
Then it would be, I haven't thought that far ahead, but it would be for sure a Joker, I think. Who would you feel safest sitting up? I mean, I don't know.
Okay.
Just a lot of information came in, and I want to tell you because I think we have a good relationship. I
do.
don't want to ruin it, but Whitney is the house's target for sure. And I already know that. You already knew that because I think we spoke about 5 minutes before the HOH comp, and you asked about that.
Yeah, I could kind of sense that's where the target shifted.
Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this. If Whitney's your target for the week, I don't think you're going to put up Tiff or Kylan. That wouldn't make sense for your game, right?
Kylan has, no, he's got 1 win, I guess. Yeah, there's no. I just want to tell you how I'm thinking about it because
No, please.
I think anyone that I sit up against next week, I'm going home.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking farther ahead until I don't have safety.
So, well, because I was going to bring that up. The team twist is going to be over soon.
Mm-hmm.
And when the team twist is over, X's safety isn't going to mean your own safety. Alyssa's safety isn't going to guarantee your own. So you have to start thinking about your individual game. And if you put up Whitney, that's fine. If that's the house's target, I'm not going to object all too hard. I'm not going to get in the way of your HOH. If you put up a Joker next to Whitney, the Kings are aware that the Jokers were gunning for them. Like, they vocalized that.
That the Jokers were coming for us. Okay.
Yes. Like, the Jokers were not secretive about that. So if you were to put up Whitney next to a Joker, with that Joker just being a pawn, Whitney would still go home because between the 3 Jokers, they have 0 wins. But you're not really getting...
Right, because another thing was I don't want to piss off 2 teams.
I understand that, but my argument to you is you're a competitor.
Mm-hmm.
You have, at this moment in time, you have an HOH under your belt, you have a wild card, and you have a power of veto, all within the first 4 weeks. And like you said, if you're on the block next to someone, you would probably go home because you have the most comp wins in this house. Now, if you put up a Joker, I get that you don't want to piss off 2 teams.
Mm-hmm.
Well, first of all, by you putting up Whitney, you're not pissing off her team. Her team is kind of aware that she's the house target.
You and Derek?
We wouldn't be pissed off with you about that. So you wouldn't actually be pissing off 2 teams. You would just be pissing off 1.
Yeah.
Okay, but let me just get back to my point. If you were to put up a Joker next to Whit, who's to say that if the Joker were to win HOH next week, they can guarantee you that you would not go up on the block? Or after the team twist.
One more time, you have to say that again.
Okay.
So
Whitney's the house target. I'm telling you that by you doing that, Derek and I would not be pissed.
Right, I get that.
We've been aware.
Mm-hmm.
So you'd only be pissing off 1 team regardless. Does that make sense? Like, if you put me up, Derek X isn't going to be the happiest. If you put me up, Whitney's also not going to be the happiest because it's 2 people from our team. 1 person from our team is guaranteed to go home. I'm also not going to be the happiest. I'd respect your decision. I get that you have to do what you have to do, but it'd still be ruffling feathers with 1 team. Now, if you put up Whitney and a Joker, Derek X and I would not be mad at you. You would be...
Still only pissing off 1 team.
You'd be irritating the Jokers, but the Jokers have already made it clear that they're coming for the Kings. You've already pissed them off. Not you, but by Xavier putting up Brittany last week, you've already pissed them off.
If
So if Whitney sits next to Brittany, Ozza, or Derek F., I'm not sure how much game they have spoken with you.
Brittany, I think if Whitney's next to Brittany, Brittany's home.
No.
Because she's bet him twice. Things like, all right, fucking give her after 3 times. You should survive 3.
I think if Whitney is next, I even think that if Whitney,
and then that only leaves Derek and Ozza, and I can't put up Derek because every single fucking guy's gone.
No. I think if Whitney sits next to me, Whitney's going home. I think if Whitney sits next to Ozza, Whitney's going home. I think if Whitney sits next to Brittany, Whitney's going home. But if Whitney takes herself off, you need to think about who is the most disposable to you. And if you think...
You're saying, in the situation that I created, you two are there. And Whitney wins. Takes herself off. You're talking about who I should replace that with?
No, just Whitney going up next to any girl. Whitney would go home.
Yeah.
But if Whitney takes herself off the block, you are left with 3 girls. That is myself, that is
Ozza,
and that is Brittany. And I don't know if you see me on the bottom of your totem pole. I don't know if
those girls, no.
Yes, I don't know if you see me as the most disposable, but why take that risk when you know the team twist is going to be over and you know that you're a huge competitor in the house? If you put up, like I said, I don't know how much game Brittany and Ozza have spoken with you up until this point, but you and I have been good since that second day, since wildcard comp. You were never on my radar. You were not going to go up if I won HOH this week, and you told me the same.
I did the same.
And I think a huge indication of whether people are sincere in this game is if they approach you before you come into power. And you and I have been talking game for the past 3 weeks. When you didn't have a veto, when you didn't have an HOH, when you didn't have a wild card. Like you and I have been going, I feel like you and I have had good rapport where you've asked me questions about this game.
Yeah.
And I've been honest with you and Alyssa, and I've given you guys advice. I've warned you, like, hey, today when you guys did this, it looked a little suspect. Maybe you want to distance yourselves. I did not have to do that. I haven't had to help you out. I haven't had to be an asset to your game. So when you think about your individual game, and you consider me, Brittany, and Ozza, who do you think is going to have your back out of those 3?
You.
Okay, so would you risk my safety by putting me up on the block against Whitney, knowing that Whitney's going to go home next to any of those girls? See, if we didn't have veto, I'd say, you do what you got to do. Put me up on the block next to her, and I know she's going to go home.
You're concerned if I leave you,
And Whitney
put
put
you
herself
up, or
on,
Whitney put herself off.
I could go home. People could be like, she knows this game too well. She hasn't won shit, but her memory's good.
Who, besides the Kings, obviously, would you feel the most comfortable sitting next to, besides Whitney, if I had to replace?
If you had to replace me with a girl, no one. Because if you look at the girls that are left, we haven't won anything. But I think people know that I know the game the best.
Right, but anyone.
What do you mean?
Guy or girl.
Who would I feel comfortable? Unless I'm up there next to Whitney, I feel like I'd go home. I truly do, yeah.
Over even any of the guys?
But you're not going to put a guy up. Why would you? Why would you send 4 guys out the door in a row?
I don't think an all-girls alliance is a thing.
Christian. It's not a thing, but why would you leave 8 girls in the house and 4 guys?
Because if that meant I get to keep you.
Even with that, if I'm sitting on the block next to a guy, the men in the house would be like, hell no, why are we keeping another girl here and setting 4 guys?
But that's in the minority of the votes. That's in the minority of the votes.
Okay, but what if the people that the men are closely aligned with are on board with that plan? Because there is no all-girls alliance. So it's not like the girls would say, oh yeah, we're voting to keep Hannah just because she's a woman.
wish I didn't win. I fucking hate this. Yeah, I know you make good points. This is hard.
Well, what does your team think? Your team wants to get the least amount of blood on their hands, right?
The house is saying
Whitney, yeah, I'm just concerned about if Whitney wins veto. Because it could be a comp that she's a beast at.
What's that?
I don't know. You never know. You really never know. She's only played in a couple competitions.
And I get to play.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I'm guaranteed to win, but over Whitney, I would think my chances are better.
I think so too. And I think if it's a memory comp, I could probably beat her. But you just never know.
I know it's a risk,
Again,
and I don't want to risk with your time here either.
I'm just going to reiterate the same argument. If you put Whitney on the block next to any of us girls, Whitney's going home.
Mm.
If Whitney comes off the block, out of me, Brittany, and Asa, I think the house would be the most eager to send me home next to whoever we're up against, because it's clear that I have extensive knowledge of this game, and people could be uncomfortable or nervous about that, and I totally get it.
Mm-hmm.
And you put Whitney up against me. Not only do you have the jokers who have made it clear that they're coming for you, they were coming for you this week, what makes you think that's going to change between now and next week? So you have them coming for you. You throw me up there. I'm going to respect your decision, and I still wouldn't put you on the block next week because I know you'd go home. But I would be a little irritated.
I know.
And I don't think Derek X would be too happy considering we just lost a teammate last week and we literally threw the competition to you guys so you guys could take that shot.
Yeah.
Like Derek X and I could have won that competition last week. And with wild card and veto.
With the Tom Talks?
Yes. we literally threw that competition to you guys because that's how good we felt about the Kings. And had we not done that, had we win and had the Jokers, possibly one wild card and saved themselves, and with the veto, we could have had to put at least one of you on the block, but we threw it to you guys, and that's why you guys are still here, all four of you.
Yeah.
And like I said, we have been talking game for the past 3 weeks, not when you had an HOH, not when you had a veto,